race fans, and welcome. It's the Nashville Super Speedway here in Lebanon, Tennessee, USA. A 1.3 mile oval that will be playing host to the NORA Truck Series 2023. Season number 5, race 13. And we are so grateful to have you with us here live on YouTube. It's iRacing live on VirtualRacing.Network. And I'm Trevor Greenfield, joined as always in the booth by none other than veteran and sim racing expert himself, Christian Snyder. And Christian, so great to have you with us here tonight. Last week we saw the Cup Series here at Nashville. It was a mixed bag as far as the race went, but it had all kinds of different action throughout. What do we have to look forward to here for the trucks tonight?
Oh, what we have to look forward for tonight is a very loose track. I mean, it is 90 degrees out there, so the track temp anywhere between like 109 to 115, depending on how much sun's hitting this track. But I was talking to most of the guys in practice, and they were saying it is super loose. So it's going to be a different story from what we saw with the Cup cars. The truck's not handling as good as the Cup cars did, so could see a couple spins, some solo spins here tonight, because the track is that slippery, especially when it's a concrete surface. So looking forward to a good race, though, to see these guys get a handle on the setup. And there's a lot of trucks here tonight, so good showing here for the NORA Truck Series this week.
It is an absolutely great showing. It's great to get back to the Truck Series where the trucks just handle a bit differently, and I think a lot of these drivers are anxious to get behind the wheel. A lot of these drivers, of course, doing both the NORA Cup Series and the NORA Truck Series double duty. But they'll carry over a lot of that great information from last week. Of course, as you said, it is going to be really hot on track this week, so maybe not quite as accurate of information. But as the trucks head out there and qualify, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look here at the points as they stand right now. There on your screen, you can see after 12 races, those drivers in yellow have already punched their ticket in, and really no movement in the top 8. But you do see that Todd Slauson has gained a spot on Nick Geilis. Geilis already punching his ticket into the playoffs. So Slauson and Bremkamp just on the outside trying to work their way in, and just inside, Cody Reeder, Torrin Schertz, and Timmy Harper's already in good enough shape. Jacob Gladelich punching his ticket earlier this season with a surprise victory. And then here you can also see the Season 5 owner points after 12 races. Brian Powell Motorsports in the number 45 jumping up to the top spot, and the 17 for Flatline Motorsports sliding down a spot in the order. But again, still quite a long ways to go for this to really matter too much. And with that, why don't we go ahead and take a look at some of this action happening out there on the track at the moment. We've got Cody Height just slowing down. He's just set the 5th fastest time. Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports. It's a very familiar sounding name, but Mark Morton out there taking over in that number 8 Chevy, and that's one of your drivers out there, Christian, and great to see you getting some new talent in the field. Tell us about some of the new drivers that we're seeing out there tonight.
Yeah, quite a few new drivers. Obviously, we got Mark Morton in my number 8, which was I was supposed to drive that this season, but obviously wasn't able to due to injury. So he's filling in for me in the 8. We got Kraus, actually top of the board, new driver here for JRC Sim. Can't wait to see what him and Malone do in the 11 truck, also for JR Sim Series, or Sim Team, I should say. So those two are new, and then I believe Cody Height over to a new team. Haven't seen him run the 16 in Truck Series. I'm not 100% sure, but he's over at Hollinger Racing for this race. So a couple new faces and a couple guys in new places this week.
Always something new to look forward to here on VirtualRacing.Network. If you're out there right now, make sure to say hello over on the YouTube chat. Always great to have all of you joining us and letting us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting on. And right now we got Tyler Dixon who's made already a great name for himself here in the NORA Truck Series, jumping up into that 22nd spot for Kingdom Motorsports. And we'll see whether or not that will equate into some luck that he has already had here in the NORA Series. But it's going to have a long ways to go from all the way back in 22nd. So seeing 26 trucks set for tonight as Christopher Heights just finishing up that qualifying lap, as you can see there on your screen. And right now that is that's not going to be good enough to crack the top 10, only good enough for 13th. And so he'll bring it to a close there, and I think that's going to get in all of the times that we will see here today. Reeder just finishing up his second lap out there on the track. And once again, not
look for Cody Reeder.
It is a new look.
Fancy looking scheme.
You know, he's trying to improve his luck on Monday nights, but I'll tell you what, unfortunately, it's not starting out so great. He has not gotten in a clean lap and therefore has not set a time yet. Flash over to the very flashy paint scheme of Mark Bremkamp. Love seeing those reflections off of that chrome numbering and red, white, and blue paint scheme there for Mark over at BS Motorsports. And so that is going to do it here for this qualifying session. We'll let this go official, and then we'll be able to go ahead and grid up for tonight's race here at Nashville Super Speedway, round number 13 of the NORA Truck Series season. Once again, just so great to get things kicked off at a very familiar racetrack here, Nashville Super Speedway. It's been a pretty good host to the real-life series, and always a great thing for us to be able to return here, of course, in the virtual sim racing world on iRacing. So here you can see it on your screen. He's brand new, Christian, but he's racing with that JRC sim team, and they're pretty aces over there. That's Everett Couts jumping in on pole position. Congratulations to him, and he did it by 6/100ths over one of the resident super fast guys here in the NORA Truck Series, Sean Briscoe with the Capital Motor Club. He'll be starting second, will be Sean Briscoe. On that second row will be Eric Sable. He's already taken victory here in the NORA Truck Series, and he could easily do so again. Teammate to Everett Couts over there. Boy, that is just a stock stable over at JRC Sim Team. Next to him will be Josh Conover for Flatline Motorsports, the namesake of the JRC Sim Team. So lots of good friends up there in the front.
Look who's behind them too. Two more JRC Sim guys.
Two more JRC. It is it's a stacked field with JRC. Jacob Malone racing for owner points. I should mention that Couts is only out there for owner points as well. Malone racing for owner points and Ronnie Norman racing for owner points. On that fourth row will be Torrance Shirts. He's in that chase for the championship playoffs coming up. So he's trying to get himself in. And BS Motorsports is his team. Craig Schroeder for Capital in 8th place. And as they're rolling out there, Cody Height in that Hollinger Racing machine in 9th place. In 10th would be Mark Morton for Full Send. Great qualifying for him. David McGuire in 11th. Timothy Harper in 12th. In 13th will be Christopher Heights. In 14th, Cody Dorsey. Dylan Walterman alongside Jacob Gladelich, Todd Schneider alongside Zach Hollinger, Todd Slauson, and Corey Raboyne, Corey Danielson, and Mark Bremkamp, Tyler Dixon, and Andrew Stab. And we're just about to get this one rolling here in Nashville. Stand by. We are underway. Barney the flagman waves that green flag, and we are rolling here in Nashville.
Really good start for the Sean Briscoe on the outside, kind of still even with the 32 of Everett here going into turn 1 and 2. Briscoe may have a run on the exit, and he will take the lead. Starting second and going to the lead out of turn 2.
That is one thing that you cannot take away from Sean Briscoe. He has those excellent start abilities, and certainly the guy who's just jumped into second place behind, Eric Sable, able to do the same thing. As you see now already, Everett Couts, your points or your pole sitter, already drifting back into that 4th spot. So that was a short-lived run up there at the front, as now Josh Conover has jumped into that 3rd spot.
Yeah, that could be partly inexperience.
And I think we have Guylis having a problem. There's Nick Guylis for Nightmare Motorsports, driver out of Lake City, Florida, and he keeps it rolling. We'll keep the action going here. Sorry to cut you off there, Christian.
Oh, it's fine. I was just going to mention his age isn't shown, but Everett, kind of a young guy, not very experienced in iRacing, so that could be a factor as to why he fell back so far so quickly there.
Indeed, some drivers elect to not send us their ages for obvious reasons. Sometimes they're teenagers and they don't want everybody knowing that fact. Sometimes you get older folks, they don't want you to know either, but it's kind of a preference thing. And here in the NORA Truck Series, all kinds of different ages represented. But certainly Sean Briscoe is a name that has become a household name here in the series. It should be pointed out that Brian Jones, who took victory last week, not able to be here for this run this week. So, one of the points championship contenders for sure by the end of this season. He's going to be one of the top several drivers in that championship hunt. Unfortunately, not able to make this one. But I also see that Corey Danielson had a momentary off track. Let's take a look here. Just a moment ago, this was Nick Guylis out here. Oh, wow. It's like a blink out there. We do see the 24 of Guylis involved, and I want to say that Danielson possibly having something to do with that as well. If we take a look, no, actually, this will be a different incident. So I'm not sure who that was that went with Guylis.
That was Zach Hollinger. Looked like maybe a computer issue, and he tried alt F4ing before he could take anyone out, but unfortunately Nick Guylis collected in that.
Well, they get it back together. That's all that matters. Sean Briscoe still continues to lead. He took over the lead on lap number 1, and he has not looked back. Sean Briscoe picking up where he left off and putting his head down and trying to get this stage. Of course, we will have a couple of stage breaks tonight on lap number 45 and lap 95. We'll be doing 150 laps total here. So these drivers, if we go green as long as we did last week for the Cup Series for a couple of the stages, we may be seeing some really great strategy play out, including some great tire strategy, as that did become quite the factor last Tuesday night.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers in must-win situations are probably going to take, 2 tires tonight and try to, do something different than the leader to try to win. I think Sean Briscoe, actually, one of those guys that hasn't won this season, currently doing what he needs to do out front.
Well, I'll tell you who else is doing what he needs to do. That is Josh Conover, who just made a great pass on Eric Sable, and that is not an easy thing to do. Sable, very skilled, and Josh managed to set him up just perfectly, laying that truck up there now into that second position and opening up a small gap now on Sable. So we'll see what the plan is over these long runs, whether it's Sable conserving tires or exactly what to expect. But here's another driver who's picked up a spot. That's Jacob Malone. So new driver there running for JRC Sim Team. He is up in the 4th spot so far. Just behind there, as we always are so blessed to have in our YouTube chat room, got the Ronnie Norman fan club. Stephen already showing up this week. He was there early. Stephen Dombrowski. It's great to see you, my friend. And Jacob Gladelich even giving us a wave. Always appreciate it. Once again, let us all know where you're watching from, who you're rooting on out there. And if you're not already a subscriber here, VirtualRacing.Network, you should be. So smash that subscribe button and you'll get all the races delivered right there to your homepage when you log in. Looking a little bit further back, that's Everett Couts. He started on pole position, and now he's managed to recover after dropping back multiple positions. But it seems like that burst of speed that got him that qualifying spot is not enough to sustain his top place here in the race. He's just about, he's already drifted out of the top 5, now back into 6th. Torn Shirt's just behind, trying to do everything he can to try to get that 6th place away from him.
And further back, you got Tim Harper and Cody Height, teammates up in the Cup Series, I believe, but not here tonight. And then David McGuire rounding out your top 10 right now. So pretty good top 10 right now of guys that need wins. You know, you got I think Torn Shirts needs a win, Briscoe, McGuire. So they're all doing what they need to do early here. Good to see them up front.
Absolutely true. And Tim Harper each and every week showing up and putting every bit of effort that he can into it. He wants so badly to get out there and win and get that Harper Motorsports team up there where that JRC Sim team is. But it's kind of easier said than done some of these weeks. And taking a look at just behind, as you mentioned, there's Cody Height with a bit of a kind of a new look there on his Hollinger racing machine in a Ford. Did he switch manufacturers? Was he always racing Ford?
I think he's been Ford. I think he runs the Ford up in the next gen series. So he doesn't run much trucks, but he's down here running for Hollinger this week and getting some time behind the wheel of the trucks.
That's awesome. I tagged him over when we were creating our Facebook post and tried to get him rallied up. Cody Height on YouTube for those of you that like following the driver streams. And currently, I'm sure he's out there streaming at the moment, so you could have a second stream going, or definitely make sure you head over there after the race and subscribe to Cody. Now you can see quite a lot of action just behind him. That's Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports, one of your drivers now, Christian. Of course, you're the team owner over there at Full Send, but up there now into 10th spot. So he had started in 10th, but he's back into 10th now.
Yeah, he fell back a little bit there on the start, but he's working his way back into the top 10. He said he was going to try to do his best tonight in his debut, and already in the top 10 is impressive.
So after all of that, looks like he's going to try to make a move now on David McGuire. McGuire, our top running independent in the field, and I see an empty space there for some sponsorship if anybody is looking for a team to get involved with, or a driver to get involved with. Perhaps that brightly colored green machine is one to look at. But up at the front, this is quite the battle happening right now. Here comes Josh Conover with Eric Sable behind, making their move down on the low side on Sean Briscoe, who's getting kind of hung out to dry in the middle of all this.
Yeah, Sable chose to go behind Josh to help him get into the lead. Obviously, Josh kind of the namesake for JRC, so a JRC driver pushes him to the lead and now is trying to follow suit and get into second here in front of Sean Briscoe. Briscoe maybe, took off a little too quick, ran off the tires a little bit, and now Josh and Eric are just driving by here.
Well, once again, something to keep an eye on, that weather right there. Now it's 92 degrees on the track, and so that's actually cooled quite rapidly since qualifying. But 92 degrees, and it's going to continue to cool as the sun continues to set, but still warm enough at 92 that it's going to play a factor, and you can't just go out there and run these tires off, as you mentioned. And Briscoe opened up. At one point, it was almost up to a full second lead over Josh Conover, and if you don't manage those tires, well enough, and you go out there, you burn some off the right front or the right rear, well, next thing you know, you're starting to slide backwards, and one of those drivers do the old school approach of preserving your tires, and they manage to take over the lead. And Josh Conover, no slouch to understanding the strategies involved here. He certainly, that's not to put it past Briscoe either. He certainly knows a lot of the strategies, but Josh, he can pull out the preserve your tires. He can pull out the go aggressive and run those tires off. He's certainly got a full bag of tricks over there at Flatline Motorsports.
One of the best guys, in my opinion, in the field at saving tires is Ronnie Norman, and he is moving up the field. He's up to fourth, and he's starting to run down Sean Briscoe. So He's one of those guys that doesn't push it early, just saves the tires, and he's there late in the run, and sure enough, he's running them down and catching them.
Man, that is a sharp paint job on that number 6 machine. I'd love to know who came up with that paint scheme or who the artist was on that, because look at that. You got the chrome number 6 on there, and the NOS really stands out. Good look for Ronnie Norman this week. It's a bit different than the blue FanDuel colors that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, he said he wanted to change it up, and he reached out to a guy, I forget what his name was. I think it was Christian Snyder. I'm not sure, though. Runs Snyder Graphics. But, yeah, he wanted a new look, and I gave him a good-looking scheme for this week.
Well, we'll see. So far, it's already paid off. He's gotten 2 positions. As you know, good-looking ride means a little bit of extra boost in the tank. Can't necessarily use the NOS, but but you certainly can use the encouragement, and anytime you got a sharp-looking machine, it always makes you feel better. Josh Conover doing a solid job right now. He's kind of being hounded by Eric Sable, who he passed a little while ago, but so far working his way through this first stage. We're just a little over halfway through this first stage, and Josh looking like he may have what it takes to be a front runner out here tonight, but as you know, Christian, it's easier said than done. You know, you get out there, you lead some laps, and I mean, it hasn't been, I'd have to go back and pull the statistics, but I don't know how many times the driver that has won the first stage has actually gone on to win the race, but I don't think it's 50% or more of the time.
Yeah, I don't know those numbers either. I could keep track of it, but when do we ever see Josh Conover in the lead this early in the race? You know, usually he starts toward the back, doesn't finish good in the stages, and then finds his way at late in the race. But now it looks like he has full control of this race right now and could win stage 1.
I mean, and I would have to say, and you know Josh better than I do, you've been racing with him for a long time, but certainly if he's out there looking comfortable in the lead this early on, I mean, if you're racing right now, that's got to make you nervous, because as you said, Josh has usually been kind of hanging out back in like 5th, 6th. I mean, we saw him last week, he was even in 12th, en route, of course, to finishing on the podium. But this early in the race, I mean, he was just outside the top 10. What do you think when he shows his hand like this early on? Is this just him saying, hey, I'm feeling it tonight?
I think so. I think he's got a thing for these concrete tracks. You know, he's good at Bristol, he's good at Dover, Nashville, one of the newer concrete tracks on the schedule, so he's picking right up where he usually runs at Dover and Bristol. So something about that concrete just makes him come alive.
Well, whatever it is, he's got it cooking tonight. He's been leading quite a few laps here so far, taking over that lead from Sean Briscoe, and now Eric Sable still hounding him there in second place, just waiting for Josh to make a uncharacteristic mistake, but certainly just hanging on. Sean Briscoe seems to have stabilized it back here in third place. And then, as you mentioned, Ronnie Norman very quickly coming up towards the back. He can see Sean Briscoe's buns. You can see the hamburger buns from there.
Oh goodness, yeah, you can see it. And what this is actually doing, though, if you look over on the left side of your screen, Ronnie was about 1.5 seconds back behind Josh Conover, but now he's 1.7, and that's because he's in the dirty air of Sean Briscoe, so he can't run as good as he wants. So what he's got to do, he's got to look for a different line on the track and try to stay out of that dirty air of Sean Briscoe in order to try to get by him. Maybe try the top if he can.
Well, and as they say, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass, and certainly I experience that every week with iRacing. It's really, unless you do this actively, you don't get a real appreciation for it. But I mean, you can know all the tricks in the world to try to make passes, but until you you get up there and you have to play with that dirty air that's coming off the truck or the car that's up in front of you. Then you have to utilize that to your advantage somehow in a very short straightaway here at Nashville. This, again, it's shaped like a 1.5 mile D-shaped oval, which even then the straights are kind of short to try to pull off a pass necessarily. But this is even shorter, so you really have to work on that truck up in front and then eventually seize that opportunity to make the pass. But easier said than done when it's Sean Briscoe in front, race winner, multiple race leading driver, Josh Conover, of course, Eric Sable. These are extremely talented drivers up in front. But Ronnie Norman, he's also taken victory. He knows what it takes to pull off a victory. So, but also I should give a big shout out to the number 99, Timothy Harper, Timmy Harper as he's known in the NORA circles. 7 positions gained so far tonight, and I mean, he's still following Ronnie Norman. That could be 8, but talk about somebody who's feeling it tonight, already gaining from 12th place up to 5th, and he's raced that whole way. So Timmy Harper, he's got the green shade on there on his helmet, and he's seeing nothing but green tonight. Will he be on that podium here? He's actually I take it back. He's a ways back from Ronnie Norman. This is not a pass for position right here. He's actually dropped about 2.5 seconds back, so he's still got a long ways to catch up to Ronnie Norman. But still hanging on there in 5th place and doing a great job.
Would you believe it if I said he hasn't won yet this season in trucks? He only does have that cup win at Phoenix, so he has not punched his ticket here in the Truck Series, although he is well within the playoffs with his points that he has. So no worry about missing the playoffs, but he wants that win. He wants to check that box and get a win here this season in the Truck Series, and it's only a matter of time for Tim. He's a winning caliber driver, and he just needs to go out there and get a race completed. That's kind of been his struggle this season, is completing the full race to he runs good but just never gets the finishes that he needs. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, and it's become a recurring theme where he'll get up there and be challenging up towards the front, and he'll get caught up in someone else's incident. Sometimes he does make a small mistake and get caught up in his own mistakes, and he's the first one to tell you that he's just not had that kind of luck to finish out these races. But when he does, I mean, he's taken podiums. He's been top 5 material each and every race, and certainly he is up there in the points and looking like a championship contender if he can continue to get these types of finishes. But as you can see, Everett Couch hanging on behind. They're in 6th place, and just right now they're kind of lining up behind Timmy Harper. He may be kind of holding up this train a little bit.
I don't know if necessarily he's holding them up. It's more just whenever you're in that dirty air, you just really can't pass. It's so tough to pass here. So Everett kind of can't get a run on Tim, so he just kind of runs in line. And the same thing happens with Torn. Whenever he's behind Everett, he can't manufacture that run. And same with Mark Morton there in 8th. I do want to update our viewers. If you see Andrew Staub back in 25th, he actually had a power outage and is no longer in the race.
Well, that's always unfortunate. And then just to catch up, where Nick Geilis has recovered to back into 23rd spot in that Bet MGM number 24 Chevy for Nightmare Motorsports. But up front, it's Josh Conover for Flatline. I'll tell you who's keeping him honest. Eric Sable for the JRC Sim team. He is not giving Josh this stage victory at all. He's saying, you got to earn this one, Josh. And so just taking a look there, if you're Josh right now, you're pushing pretty hard, you're running your laps, and you've got Eric Sable running that close to you. Just a minute ago, he was half again as close. I don't know. I guess Josh doesn't really feel the pressure some drivers, they start quaking in their boots if they start feeling that driver hounding them from the back. But something tells me Josh's been doing this long enough that he doesn't feel that kind of pressure.
Well, I think it has to do with the guy that's behind him too. He knows Eric. He's kind of on his team in a sense. So he knows that Eric's not going to do anything to put Josh in a situation where it ends his race. So he's comfortable with him running behind him. And I think Eric right now is just comfortable saving tires, not really pushing Josh too much. He's going to wait until the stage and try to take the win then, I'm sure. But right now, there's just no need to really battle. They have 2.5 seconds on the third place guy, Sean Briscoe. So nothing to worry about right now. But I think if the guy behind Josh Conover may have been like Brian Jones per se, maybe Josh would be panicking a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. Brian Jones, well known for being able to take that position basically whenever he wants it, and just a shame to not have him out here tonight, as we've got so many of our typical front runners already running at the front here. Would love to see him up there, what he could do in this mix. But as the sun starts to run long here in Nashville, we're just coming up to the end of stage number 1. Ronnie Norman staring at the back of Sean Briscoe and starting to salivate the thought of some cheeseburgers and fries. But Briscoe up there in third spot. That's not where he qualified. He actually qualified in second. He took over the lead on the opening lap. And our leader, our pole sitter, Everett Couts, hanging on right now in 6th place. He's dropped 5 spots from where he started, but he's been holding tight with Tim Harper just up there in front in this 4-way battle here for 5th place. So we'll see how this all kind of works out in the long run. Meantime, just a little bit further back as we get to the end of this first stage, Mark Bremkamp chasing Jacob Gladelich. Gladelich already in that playoff championship because he did win already this season. Dylan Walterman just up in front trying to hang on to that 10th spot. He's gained 5 spots in front of Cody Reeder, who's gained 15 from that far back starting position. And that is going to do it. Josh Conover taking victory here in the very first stage for the NORA Truck Series at Nashville. Eric Sable taking second, and Sean Briscoe taking third. Ronnie Norman in fourth, and Timmy Harper in fifth. This driver's going to be making some pit stops on your screen, and we're going to be stepping aside for just a minute to take a quick break. We will be right back with lots more green flag action. Stay tuned here on VirtualRacing.Network. and welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. You just saw it on your screen. And Christian, tell us what just happened down in the pits with Josh Conover, our leader.
Well, Josh Conover was getting into his box there, and Eric Sable was right behind him. And I guess Josh wasn't far enough to the left to consider being in his box and wasn't invisible yet. And Eric Sable just kind of tapped him a little bit and put him into the inside wall. So I think this could be detrimental for Josh for the rest of the race, because he damaged his front bumper, and whenever you damage that front bumper, you're going to lose RPM, and that's really unfortunate. You know, he won stage one, and then kind of a freak accident takes him out of this. So it doesn't look like too much damage, but we don't know what happened on the interior of it. But you can see the Hooters logo on the back bumper. Not exactly straight there. It's kind of bent.
Well, quite a turn of events, and it's exactly what I was just talking about earlier about how you can take the race, the stage win, but does that necessarily guarantee you a race win? And I'm sure Josh is fuming under the collar right now that happened, but you certainly understand possibly what was going through Sable's mind coming in, thinking that he might have been clear that he could have driven through that truck. You know, it's always weird to me when I'm driving through the pits. I can't, honestly, I try not to drive through other vehicles. It's just one of those things that just kind of ruins the realism for me a little bit. So I try not to do that. I try to avoid the vehicles. And of course, you can hit each other on pit lane, which is a problem. But let's take a look at what we have already. How about Everett Couts getting back out there in the lead? And he did that by having a faster pit lane time than just about everybody else.
Yeah, also a product of, you know, the front two, Eric Sable and Conover obviously getting in trouble. It kind of stacked up the front guys a little bit, but Everett was able to get into his box cleanly, and that's what helped him have a good time. As you can see, they're choosing inside or outside now. Everett going to choose the outside, because if we remember, the start of the race, he was on the inside, and the guy who was on his outside took the lead from him, so he put that in the memory bank and chose the outside lane. So hoping to get a better start than he did at the beginning of the race.
So well, you learn a little bit, and you always should learn a little bit as you're racing, and that's always great to see from the rookie to the NORA Racing series here. And I mean, it's at the same time, you look at Ronnie Norman, and he's now going to line up to the inside. So Norman now gaining 4 positions tonight. He's going to start in second.
Well, these two are teammates, so I'm sure whatever it's going to do is he's going to tell Ronnie exactly when he's going. So these guys both going to have a great start here. Oh, he went real early. I think that's going to be a penalty there, as now it's going to stack up the field too. Oh man, messy start there by the youngster.
I feel like he probably tried to give that one back, just knowing that he jumped the start, but I think iRacing may have possibly could penalize him.
I believe so. I think the ruling.
And we have a yellow flag right now.
Bremkamp?
We've got Schroeder involved. We've got Jacob Malone, Mark Bremkamp. There's Malone on the backstretch, and Bremkamp involved as well. So
this could be a product of that start, just everybody being stacked up and then having a wreck happen. Let's see what happened. Oh, Bremkamp going to get loose on his own, just tries to save it, not able to, and then nowhere for Malone to go, gets hit there. And that's an unfortunate way for Mark Bremkamp's race to go here. We'll see on board here with Jacob Malone what he's able to see. You can see he's starting to spin, goes low, and just nowhere to go.
Looks like another
Craig
truck.
Schroeder too.
Oh, that was Schroeder who got involved with that. Okay. So that makes sense. Yeah, unfortunate for a number of these drivers. Here's what Schroeder saw.
Yeah, you can see Malone ahead of him. He's already going down low because he sees it happen, but Malone gets hit into Schroeder, and around goes Schroeder. Almost takes out Todd Slauson. My goodness.
And your heart goes in your throat. But As I'm looking now, it looks like some of these drivers coming back down into the pits, including Josh Condover, going to choose to take maybe a little bit more damage repair onto that machine. So unfortunate stuff for him, but with Everett having an issue there on that start, and we'll go back and take another look at that start, but Ronnie Norman, Stormin' Norman storms to the lead here on lap number 52. So interesting stuff, and certainly the Norman fan club probably going wild in the YouTube chat room. Want to see another 1-2 finish tonight would be super cool, says Steven Dombrowski. So let's take another look at this start and see exactly what happened for Couts. Let's go ahead and jump on board here, and you can take
some damage to Ronnie Norman. I'm sorry to cut you off. There was some damage to his truck, so I'm wondering how he got that, if maybe it's on this start here. But you can see he's nowhere near the restart zone. Right there is the restart zone, and he was already going. And then you can see the stack up happening behind them here. Eric Sable, I think, got hit from behind by Dylan Walterman. And you can see they go 4 wide here, so.
Well, let's see from Ronnie's point of view how this start looked.
Yeah, you can see he goes really, really early. And then there's the restart zone. That's when you take off. And Ronnie goes in the zone, and he's going to take the lead from that. So I don't know how they're going to roll it. Maybe they cleared him because he checked up, or he's going to get a tail end penalty. But as of right now, he's still in 7th place, so no penalty for the 32.
Well, we were just talking about him a moment ago. He's chosen wisely. And now Timmy Harper, up 10 positions here, is going to be starting on that inside spot. That's right where Ronnie, who's now sitting on the outside, started. So we'll see how that works out for him. Sean Briscoe on the outside, and Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports going to be starting in 4th spot. So congratulations to him on his debut here on VirtualRacing.Network, getting all the way up into the top 5.
Yeah, good run so far for that 8 truck. It's great to see a truck that I was supposed to drive. It actually has my name above the door still up here in the front. Obviously, if I was in the truck, it would also be there. Just want to make that clear, you know.
Wherever he's at, I'm sure you would be one position better at least. But
absolutely.
As we look through the field, Torrin Shirts for BS Motorsports, of course, he's still trying to stay up there in the playoffs position in the points, and so he's currently sitting in 6th. Couts managed to recover back in 8th place. Dylan Walterman kind of splitting them right now for Harper Motorsports, going to be restarting in 7th place. Jacob Gladelich, former winner here in the NORA Truck Series, he's going to be restarting back in 9th, and David McGuire in that bright green machine, number 23, going to be starting in the 10th spot. But all eyes going to be on Ronnie Norman now that he's up here. You know, he was really hounding Sean Briscoe before the end of that last stage, and I would say now with a clean track ahead, there's a possibility that Norman's going to get a chance to enjoy some laps out front. So we'll see whether or not he can do what Sean Briscoe did on the start and manage to hold on to that front position. But the sun continues to set here in great city of Lebanon, just outside of Nashville. We're just about ready to go here one more time.
Green's out. Green flag, green flag.
And I'm sure Ronnie's going to go at the appropriate time. We're back underway, ready to rock and roll here at Nashville.
And that damage on the back bumper of that 6 truck shouldn't really affect it because it is the back bumper. And if anything, I mean, it could be an AJ Allmendinger situation where this weekend he got damage to his rear end and he gained like 0.5 of a second out there on the track. So maybe that damage might help Ronnie get a little bit faster out here. As we can see, Sean Briscoe moves into 3rd ahead of Mark Morton, who was supposed to restart 3rd. He lost the position to Sean Briscoe because of the outside. We see someone coming into pit road here. Not sure who that was.
That's actually Couts coming in, and you're right, we do have a wreck. That's Todd Slauson involved in that one. We've got Corey Danielson down onto pit road, and Slauson still out there on the track. Mark Bremkamp, Corey Danielson. So let's go ahead and take a look. The first note that we have is Bremkamp going off track. Perhaps if we jump up to the chopper view, we can tell exactly what happened for Bremkamp. There you see the 19 and the 22 of Slauson and Danielson making contact, and that kind of forcing Bremkamp to go low. Let's go ahead and take one more look and see if we can tell exactly what happened with Slauson.
Yeah, I don't know if Todd maybe got scared because Josh was down there and overcorrected up into the 19. I think that's maybe what happened, but not too much damage for the 22 or the or the, I think it was 19. Or maybe that's the 10 of Craig Schroeder. Yeah, that's the 19. So yeah, not too much damage for them. I think they're going to be fine for the rest of the race. Maybe Craig Schroeder might have some issues there because he got into Todd Slauson, but for the most part, not that bad. I think all those trucks still have a shot at winning tonight.
Here you can see the truck already sideways, but some difficulty here as we get going again. A couple of quick cautions. There you can see Slauson, really no place to go for him. Does a couple of nice spins, keeps it off the wall, damages those tires, but can swing down and pick up some fresh tires, and it looks like no harm, no foul to just about everybody in the field. We're going to get this one going here in just another lap or so. Ronnie Norman out front. We're going to step aside for just a second. We will be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. As you can see, Ronnie Norman actually choosing the low line here. Timmy Harper going to be starting on the high side. But who can, take anything away from these drivers who are at the front right now? Ronnie Norman gaining 5 spots so far this race. Timmy Harper gaining 10 spots. And Mark Morton in 3rd spot, gaining 7. You don't have to go very much further back either. You've got Dylan Walterman right now sitting in the 5th spot. He's gained 10 positions tonight as well. So some really hard-fought racing already. And pretty interesting to see Nashville sort of pulling some of these drivers up here towards the front. Not used to seeing, for example, Walterman so far up this early in the race, etc. But we are back under green here at Nashville. One more time, Ronnie Norman jumping out to that early lead, coming down towards turn number 1.
Early and huge lead there. That was a great restart there for Ronnie Norman. He's got about a 3 or 4 truck length lead over Tim Harper. And through the field, we see 3 and 2 wide on back. Right now, that's not what you want to be doing. You want to try to get single file as quick as possible, get up through the front. But I mean, passing so hard. So the only time you can be side by side is right now, and they're trying to take advantage of every pass they can. It looks like Sean Briscoe almost was thinking about looking underneath Tim Harper there for a second. He's going to go to the outside now.
Absolutely, Briscoe taking a look. Racing on board here with Sean Briscoe. Christian, if you're trying to set up Tim Harper, what are you thinking as your... Oh, we now have a yellow flag. It looks like Todd Slauson again. Unfortunate.
Not having a good race here.
Well, he was actually having a decent race, and unfortunately, cautions, bringing out more cautions for Todd. So we'll jump back and take a look and see what happened to the number 22 car here just a moment ago on lap number 62. Jump on board with him.
It looks like he's going to get collected in it from something up ahead of him there.
Oh, that's the 11.
Oh, the 24. The 24 turned the 11 into the outside wall. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but that's heavy damage for the 11.
So Malone getting involved. Interesting, my software not even showing me that he had an issue.
Wow.
Malone.
That damage is real bad. That might be a night ender.
That's unfortunate to see that truck having so much trouble, and there's Guylis as well. So let's back up and see if we can tell from Guylis's point of view, perhaps, what exactly took place here. Or maybe we'll jump just outside and see if we can tell from overhead.
Oh, he just gets loose, tags the 11, and hard into the wall for the 11 of Malone. That's a product of this track. You know, it's been hot and slick all night, and it's cold tires still, so Nick just was kind of pushing it a little bit too hard on exit. Got loose. You can see up ahead David McGuire, I believe that was, also getting loose.
Yep.
He was able to gather it up, but a lot of people getting loose out of turn 2 that corner.
Well, as a result, all of these drivers now choosing to come down onto pit lane. Todd Slauson as well. You know, it just depends on what that damage really looks like for these drivers. We can see the 11 still sitting in his pit stall there, trying to take some damage repair. And Christopher Heights.
That hood is messed up. You could see through the hood into the engine, so you never want that to happen.
Well, rough going for Malone on his debut here on VirtualRacing.Network, and also rough for Guylis. Guylis has had, Guylis having a victory earlier this season, but it's good results have been few and far between for him. I know that he's only racing for owner points, but and he's doing admin duties, etc. But he's certainly talented to be running up in that top 10. But unfortunately, just not able to get any sort of consistency going here in the NORA Truck Series whatsoever.
Yeah, he had, I believe, 2 wins earlier this season, 1 in truck and 1 in next gen. So he definitely can get it done. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he swept Daytona with the trucks and the next gen. So, maybe he's one of those Dale Jr. types where he's really good at plate tracks and then just kind of decent everywhere else. But I think he's going to get a win eventually. He's going to get there again later this season in victory lane, hopefully.
Well, we look forward to that, and of course, Nightmare Motorsports also just in general, that team trying to put together the efforts and get up there and crack that top 5 each and every week. And with their stable
Yeah.
of drivers. It's kind of shocking that we don't see that happening more often. But
Well, actually, only one Nightmare Motorsports driver is here, and that's Nick Eilis. His teammates did not show up for tonight's race, so not going to be a good finish for Nightmare. It's going to be pretty deep in the field since Nick has that damage already. So unfortunate for Nightmare Motorsports.
Yep, just a product of the summer, and you know, different people have different responsibilities, different agendas, different things to get to, of course. But right now, I'll tell you who's got their eyes pointed forward, and that's Ronnie Norman, who potentially has a race win in his grasp here. He's already gotten a couple of good restarts. Tim Harper, this is as close to a victory as he has been all season long here in the NORA Truck Series, so he's looking forward to this one and getting some green flag racing underway. Torrance Schertz for BS Motorsports. This is absolutely one of the best runs that he's had as well. And who can count out Mark Morton back there in 5th space for Full Send Motorsports. So already, I mean, and then you've got Sean Briscoe and Eric Sable right there to keep everybody honest. But we'll see how this all works out. Of course, 95 laps going to be this second stage. So we're getting very close to the end of this second stage. Who's going to take it? Find out in just a moment as we're just about to get green. One more time here, Barney the Flag Man with that flag in the air.
Green, green, green.
And we are green once again here at Nashville.
How about that view in the background? We get the sunset and Ronnie trying to put a sunset on the field and pull away and close this one out here.
Well, that
was my best pun attempt.
Oh, it's beautifully delivered. That's some real poetry coming from Christian Snyder here, VirtualRacing.Network. But it's getting pretty racy back here for the 4th and 5th position, as it looks like Schertz has now lost that spot to Briscoe. Briscoe on the outside for Capital Motor Club, able to snake that position, now move him up into 3rd. Mark Morton hanging out back here in 5th. He's going to try to take over that position from Schertz in a moment.
Man.
Very close racing
back there.
with
I think
Sable.
that was Gladelich. Oh no, Gladelich I think went around, maybe saved it. He does, he saves it.
He continues.
He got loose off it too.
He continues. So, also, I do see that Schneider entered the pits as well. Actually, that was some time ago.
I'll tell you what, don't look now, but there's a new face in the top 10, and it's that 85 truck of Cody Reeder.
You knew it was going to happen. He had to start all the way at the back for KPR Motorsports. Didn't get in that qualifying lap. He's fought hard, gaining 19 positions so far tonight. And you know who else? Hey, I got a chance. It was so cool not that long ago. Remember when Tyler Dixon won? Of course, we don't want to. You probably don't want to think about that race because one of your drivers was in position to win that race, and Tyler ended up winning. But Kingdom Motorsports already tasting victory here in the NORA Truck Series, and certainly he's right there following in the path of Cody Reeder. Reeder now getting around Mark Morton, who has drifted back into 7th place. Let's take a look up here at the front once again. Ronnie Norman, 27-year-old out of Clinton, Indiana, racing for the JRC Sim team. He's currently holding down this lead and making his way towards this Stage 2 victory, which will be coming up here in about 24 laps. So if we can stay green, it'll be a great chance to see what kind of tire strategy these drivers can get together, as track is starting to cool down a little bit now. As you can see there on your screen, currently into the lower 90s, soon to pop into the 80s. But, you know, one thing we didn't quite mention at the top, 15-mile-per-hour breeze, and that, it's enough to move the truck around a little bit if you're trying to make a maneuver. So these drivers definitely going to be feeling that at the end of the long straight. It may push them into the corner a little bit harder than they thought, have to use those brakes a little bit. So certainly if these tires get to be kind of sketchy on their final last thread, that could become an issue, as we've already seen some drivers having an issue. And now it looks like Danielson having another moment, and now I believe he has exited the vehicle. Let's take a look. This was Danielson in his Toyota for Capital Motor Club, and the 11 and the 19.
Oh, man.
Having a massive coming together. That was Jacob Malone and Corey Danielson. And unfortunately...
Magically, the front bumper popped back onto the truck there. That was pretty impressive.
Indeed, we specialize in impressive, realistic graphics here on VirtualRacing.Network. But taking a look up front, once again, it's Ronnie Norman still holding down that spot, but don't look now. There's a number 99 Ford in your mirror, Ronnie.
They have friends off the track, but on track, they're battling for this lead like they don't know each other. You know, Tim wants this win, and if he has to move his friend, maybe he will. You know.
Well,
they can talk about it tonight.
I mean, one is actually racing for the Drivers' Championship, and the other is not. Of course, Ronnie is racing for owner's points out here. Harper is racing for points and doing everything he can to try to stay up here and stay in the sharp point of the playoffs run. Sean Briscoe, of course, himself trying to get as many points, especially with Jones not being here tonight, just trying to gain as many points as he can here in the regular season championship run, so he wouldn't mind taking victory. Eric Sable, he's already punched his ticket into the playoffs, but he's trying to get up there into the top 10, and he's not very far out now into the regular season top 10 championship. And you have to keep in mind, Sable joined us. I mean, I don't know the exact race that he joined the Truck Series, but I would say it was somewhere around race 8 or so, 7 or 8. So he's got far fewer races towards that championship, but already just having some great finishes. Sable, definitely somebody to look at for that overall championship at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, he joined us at Kansas just a couple of races ago, and already he's accumulated a lot of points and got himself in a good position for when we make it to the playoffs. And look at this, we got to move for the lead. Tim Harper gets to the outside of Ronnie Norman. Going to side draft him here, see if he can get the run. And now Ronnie going to try to keep it tight on Tim to try to take the air off of him.
Oh, and here comes
now
Briscoe.
Sean Briscoe, 3 wide.
3 wide into turn number 1. I don't think that's advisable, but we'll see how it works out. Ronnie Norman, the meat and the sandwich there, and it looks like Harper wins out after all. Timmy Harper moves up into the top spot.
And for now, Tim Harper gets into the front, and the product of Sean Briscoe making it 3 wide was because of Tim and Ronnie being side by side down the entire front stretch.
Well,
it allowed Sean Briscoe to get a run, and now we see 3 wide between Ronnie, Sean, and Eric here going into turn 1 for second.
Eric said, if you can go 3 wide, I'll go 3 wide as well. And they managed to make it work and squeeze it back into 2 wide. Sable down on the bottom in 3rd spot right now, trying to take a look at Sean Briscoe for second. And just like that, Ronnie Norman, who was up there in the lead, is all the way back into 4th.
And look what all this side-by-side action has done. It brought Cody Reeder into this battle now. So now we have a 6-car battle basically for first place here. As now he's going to tuck in behind 2 shirts and we're single file again. But for a second there, it was even allowing Josh Conover to catch up. So good to see him rebounding from his pit road accident. Up to 7th place now.
Absolutely. Of course, you could just never count out Josh. He could be a lap down, and you cannot count that guy out. He'll find a way to get back up there into the lead. He is one tenacious guy behind the wheel. Here comes pretty tenacious guy himself. I was just going to say, Cody Reeder. If this guy feels it like he's feeling it tonight, coming forward 21 positions. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be stoppable. This is one of those types of tears. This guy for KPR, I mean, the whole KPR stable of drivers is just unbelievably talented, but Cody Reeder especially If he's got a race truck under him that he's feeling like he can get up there into the front, well, better look out. And speaking of look out, here comes Josh Conover. He's this side-by-side racing has allowed him to catch up to the front. Now he's going to try to take a look underneath Cody Reeder for that spot. Now he's going to take a look under Shirts. 3 wide into the corner. How's this going to work out? They stayed 3 wide through the corner.
Still 3 wide. Still 3 wide.
And he gets turned.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
A little bit of netcode, it looked like, and Shirts gets into Conover and turns him at the start-finish line. And Conover, well, everything had been fixed and was pointing so much towards a recovery here tonight. And that is really going to hurt. He's not going to lose a lap yet, but he's already damaged that truck once again, and now he's probably going to have another minute or 2 on pit lane trying to get that damage repaired.
You can see through the front bumper into the engine, so definitely detrimental to the RPMs in that truck. And you know, like you said, it was just netcode. These guys were racing, 3 wide, and iRacing just couldn't quite keep up with it here. We'll take a look at it. Coming out of 4, they're still 3 wide, and then, you can see he'd never even touched them and just sent them around. But that's really good racing, really hard racing. You can't blame Torn Shirts at all for it. It was just iRacing didn't like them racing, I guess.
Well, and with that, all these drivers choosing to come down onto pit lane. Sean Briscoe, Eric Sable, Ronnie Norman, Torrid Shirts, many drivers coming down into the pits.
One guy stayed out here.
That's
Looks
Cody
like Cody Dorsey stayed out. A lot of guys taking 2 tires here as well.
And
Mark Morton.
Yes, he did take 2 tires. So he gets out in 2nd place. Eric Sable jumping out in 3rd. Timmy Harper going to be out in 4th. And Sean Briscoe relegated back to 5th. With that, we're going to step aside for just a lap or so. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Stay tuned. Welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. We have a new leader, and good news is, should anything happen to that truck, he'll get paid to miss work. But Cody Dorsey is going to restart at the pole for this restart here, and I just don't know if he's going to have what it takes to stay out there. These trucks have almost 40 lap newer tires than Cody does, so I just can't see it happening. But look who's in second. Mark Martin for Full Send Motorsports, and Timmy Harper and Eric Sable starting on the second row. This is pretty exciting stuff for Full Send to have Mark starting there in second, but a great start from Dorsey.
Yeah, Dorsey with a good start, but these tires, as soon as he goes off into turn one, Eric Sable gonna make easy work of him here as he's gonna look. Oh no, Sable gets loose.
That's
And
Harper.
Caution's out.
Harper,
Oh, no.
and he gets collected by two other trucks, so we still got him wrecking
Reeder.
here.
Reeder goes around.
And I believe
my.
Conover also, Couts caught in that.
Oh wow, the 32, heavy damage. What in the world happened here?
I have no idea. We're going to have to take a look at this one. I believe it, I mean, I'm not sure who caused this one. It could have been, possibly could have been Harper. So let's take a look at what we can see from Harper from the chase cam here.
Ooh, I already see what's probably going to happen here. Oh, maybe I was wrong. Nope. There it is. Timmy gets loose, and then Sean Briscoe gets into the back of him there, but
They're already
on back,
wrecking
everyone
behind.
checking up, yeah.
I mean,
Everyone was checking up for it and just kind of piled in.
so
But the 32, not seen here. He's already destroyed, and there he is. He's weighted down on the bottom. Torn Shirts also had a moment getting loose. So that's what that was behind him. And then here's the hit. The 32, nowhere to go.
wow. So
We've seen it already earlier tonight, turn two, these guys getting loose out of there. I said it before the race even started, a lot of the guys were saying it's really loose, and now we see multiple cars getting loose all at the same time, almost like it started raining in turn two. My goodness.
Well, it's humid out there, but not that humid. Certainly a lot of trucks getting it wrong. Let's take a look what happened to Cody Reeder from his point of view. This may have been quite a wild ride for Cody Reeder. As you see McGuire kind of getting loose in front.
And he gets loose too, and then overcorrects it and gets hit.
Gets hit from the side.
I think about 6 trucks in total in that corner all got loose at the same time. You can see them all sideways. Torn Shirts, Tim Harper, the 23, David McGuire, Cody Reeder got loose.
And I'm not exactly sure what to say would cause that in particular. You'd have to wonder if it isn't. I mean, is there some weirdness with the concrete surface? Do we think that iRacing
Maybe a gust of wind?
Could have been a gust of wind.
I didn't think about that. Oh, man.
Oh, and Bremkamp blows the engine there.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard hit for Bremkamp, and that engine is toast. That's at least a 30-minute repair, and you can see Everett here. He's coming down, and Torn Shirts doesn't hold the brakes. I preach to my guys on my team, whenever you get spun out, hold the brakes so that you don't collect other cars, and Torn Shirts just let go of the brakes and rolled right in front of Everett there.
Well, are we going to get this one restarted? I think we will get it restarted in time to finish this stage under green, or at least take a chance to finish it under green. So we're going to stay live here on VirtualRacing.Network as they're choosing out there right now. Many drivers, I believe, let's see here. We do have a few drivers who did come in for pit stops, including Cody Height, Craig Schroeder, and Cody Reeder, Dylan Walterman, Jacob Malone, all coming in this last time. Timmy Harper still sitting, still on pit road. So having to take some serious repair in that machine. Yes, Christian?
Real quick, the guys that pit now, what their strategy is going to be is they're going to stay out at the stage. So you're going to see some new names up toward the front after the stage ends here. I mean, one good thing for Tim Harper, if he gets his damage repaired under this pit that he's in, He's got 4 fresh tires on it, so he'll be able to restart toward the front. But I don't know with that damage if he'll be able to stay up there. And we got to remember Cody Dorsey right now on very old tires, about 50 lap old tires at this point, and Eric Sable with brand new tires. So it's going to be interesting restart here coming up.
It should be quite the interesting restart, and I do wonder whether Dorsey can manage to hold on. Sable was working on him, but you've also got Morton starting in that 3rd spot as well. Briscoe right
Look
there.
Who's in the 3rd row? Where did he come from? Todd
No,
Slauson.
how is that possible for him to even
Wrecks
be back?
twice and comes up here in the end of stage 2 and is in position to get some points. That's impressive.
Wait a minute. Look who's in 8th.
What in the world?
Josh Conover is somehow back in the mix. So I have no idea. Those trucks may still be damaged, and again, they just haven't. There hasn't been enough green flag action to separate them back out again. But we'll see. Cody Dorsey, he's the one who's got these 40-plus old tires on here. I mean, they're almost 50 laps old, these tires. He came in on lap 46. It's lap 92. So can Cody survive and take the stage victory? We'll find out. We're back underway here on lap number 93, and Sable diving down to the inside, wasting no time whatsoever. He's going to try to take that position away, and successfully does. Eric Sable now up into the lead. A little bit further back, side by side between Briscoe and Morton for that 3rd spot into turn number 3. You've got Morton on the inside. He's going to prevail at the moment. They get stacked up behind Cody Dorsey. As they start lap number 94, they're racing for stage points right now. Dorsey trying to hang on to that 2nd spot, just barely able to do so, giving it everything he's got. But Mark Martin now up into 2nd for Full Send Motorsports. Sean Briscoe follows behind, and Eric Sable cruising through turn number 4 is about to take this 2nd stage here as they work their way down towards the line. It's Sable with Mark Morton in 2nd and Briscoe in 3rd. Cody Dorsey in 4th, and can you believe it? Todd Slauson takes top 5 here in the 2nd stage. What an amazing finish.
If you would have told me that Todd Slauson would be 5th in the in stage 2, I would have said you're crazy.
Well, it's true. Unbelievable stuff for Todd Slauson.
He said he was going to do whatever it takes to get points tonight, take 2 tires and go off strategy, and sure enough, he took 2 tires and he came up and got the points that he needed. It's 5 bonus points for finishing in 5th in the stage.
Well, Mark Morton hanging on in 2nd place. He's been something to watch here in his debut for Full Send Motorsports on VirtualRacing.Network. Great run from him so far. Is he going to have anything for Eric Sable? Will Sean Briscoe have something to say about this race win at the end? Can Cody Dorsey come in and get those tires and get back out there? And will Todd Slauson be able to hang on? All these drivers coming in right now. Todd Slauson going to stay out there. He might take over the lead. Actually, Mark Morton and Todd Slauson. So you're going to end up with a Full Send Motorsports 1-2 starting this 3rd stage. Everybody else coming in, topping off, and taking on tires. Christopher Heights for Harper Motorsports also joining the front group, as well as Jacob Gladelich and Cody Heights. So with that, we're going to step aside here, catch our breath, and we'll be ready to go here to close this one out at Nashville. You do the same. We'll meet together here in just a moment. welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. As you can see, we weren't lying. It was Full Send and is Full Send, who's going to restart in first and second place. Although, actually, I take it back. Slauson choosing that inside line, so as a result, he's going to be starting in third space. He's going to start behind his teammate Mark Morton, as opposed to alongside. That's an interesting strategy call. But now Mark Morton going to be starting in that second place, and as we were just showing you there at as we were taking a quick break, it was in fact the number 32 of Everett Couts, who had been up in the lead for a short minute, was on pole position. Now he's got a damaged truck that's looking like a modified back here, and that's kind of the sign of the night for Everett's debut here on VirtualRacing.Network.
Well, I like the determination, you know, even though you got so much damage and the truck's not handling, he's staying out there and getting owner's points for that 32 truck, so you got to appreciate it. And I think this move by Todd Slauson to choose the inside is going to work out, because what's going to happen, Mark's going to tell him when he's going here as he gets into the restart zone, and Todd's going to go right with him here. So here they go, and Todd with a decent start, maybe not as good as he wanted, but he's going to be inside of Christopher Heights, I believe. Yeah, Christopher Heights in the 18 truck this week. See if he can clear him. Side by side, still coming out of turn 2 here.
Side by side, you see pretty much 3 wide, a little ways back, fighting for position, but this is where the race is right here. Can Slauson clear Heights? And he does. There's Sable trying to capitalize on that side-by-side racing in front of him, and here it looks like Heights trying to go back at him.
Crossover to the inside. Christopher Heights trying to get back by Todd Slauson.
Oh,
he's got Eric Sable right behind him here.
Side by side, they go through the corner. It's row by row, and now Slauson ducks in behind Heights. Oh, very close racing now for Heights and Slauson. Slauson slices down to the inside, very close there, and almost makes contact. Heights drifts up the track, and it's now looks like Slauson back into that second position. I'll tell you what, Slauson's fighting extremely hard to hold on to second, but here comes Eric Sable. Slauson momentarily breaks up his internet connection there, and Sable down to the inside. He gets a little wiggle coming through the corner as well.
Well, Todd, what his mindset is as long as he holds those guys behind him, the caution comes out, everyone's going to probably take tires again. And he's desperate for a win. He said he's going to do whatever it takes. So he is trying to stay up at least in second place here behind his teammate Mark Morton. But now Eric Sable to his outside, I think, going to easily pass Todd Slauson here.
You can see him just sailing by. Not much he can do at this point. There goes Eric Sable in that familiar green and white machine, up now into second spot, and Slauson going to have to settle for third. I do wonder, is Sable going to be content with running in second, or is he going to try to give it a shot and try and take over that top position from Morton? But Morton has managed to lead a lap here or two in his debut, and possibly we're seeing some of the future of NORA coming forward. I mean, I don't know if he got loose on his own. Yeah, it kind of looked like Sable might have gotten into the back of him there.
Might have to go over to Ronnie after the race and have a discussion, not sure, but Eric Sable, the new leader here for Ronnie's team, JRC Sim.
This was
take a look at the replay.
A lap ago.
No contact, just gets loose on his own.
Just gets loose on his own, as you said, and thank goodness for replays. We might have some fans throwing things from the stands there, as there's a lot of Full Send Motorsports fans out there in the stands. I understand you gave away several thousand tickets to your clientele and their families. It's really kind of you to sponsor such a giveaway here. So,
yeah, I hit the lottery and was able to give away a lot of tickets.
You're well, I guess you're doing better over there at Snyder Graphics than I had given you credit for. But Christopher Heights, he's drifted all the way back into fifth, and indeed 3 wide. Ronnie Norman back into this mix as well. Coming up.
You could say he's storming. He's storming through the field.
He is storming back to the front. Tyler Dixon He's back in this one as well. Where's Cody Dorsey after that restart? He's all the way back now in 8th. Mark Morton dropping back all the way to 9th, but he's managed to get it recovered. Josh Conover somehow still has a truck that's still racing forward. So he's looking solid now, racing in the top 10. But out front, this is Eric Sable. And that number 9 for JRC Sim Team, he's managed to get it all clear of all the other trucks, and the only one that can possibly chase him down at this point is Sean Briscoe, who sits in 2nd in that Toyota. But you've got a Ford, a Toyota, and a Chevy, your top 3 at the moment. And I do wonder whether Briscoe is going to have anything to say about this one, but he's had a great truck here tonight. Driver out of Fair Oaks, California. He's certainly been a name here in the NORA Truck Series, and he's been doing it all season long. Unfortunately, that guy who sits in front is one who's managed to do it just a little bit better since he's gotten here into the Truck Series. Possibly we could see something different tonight. I'm noticing Briscoe seems to have a little bit of speed on Sable, but once again, we did see at the start of this race, Briscoe kind of going up and leading and trying to run off the front, and unfortunately it looked like he ran off his tires a little bit too much, and that cost him over the long first run of the night. But we'll see what happens here. Just 40 laps remain in round number 13 at Nashville Superspeedway.
Here comes Ronnie Norman looking to try to get 3rd. I'm kind of impressed that Todd Slauson able to stay in 3rd place right now. He's one of those guys that took 2 tires. The other guys who took them kind of fell through the field. His teammate Mark Morton, Cody Dorsey on the no tire strategy had fell back there for a while, but he's making his way back up toward the field with new tires. But Todd seems to make these 2 tires work a little bit better.
He's having a good run. Slauson, doing a great job hanging on to 3rd right now. This is I don't even want to bring up the race, but it's shades of one of his best nights that he's had here in the NORA Truck Series, when he was really feeling it and running up in that top 3. But that being said, looks like the lights are on and it's time to shine. Here comes Ronnie Norman, storming Norman up into that 3rd position, racing on the outside as he tries to hang on. Todd Slauson does, but I don't know if Slauson's going to be able to hang on to that spot.
Yeah, Slauson going to let Norman by pretty easily. Ronnie, a former teammate for Todd last season, so they're kind of friends out there, so Todd not going to race Ronnie as hard as he does with all the other guys out there on the track. But Ronnie, he's got a fast-looking truck. He might not only get up to 3rd, he might catch up to Sean Briscoe and Eric Sable here. I think Ronnie has 4 tires. I'm not sure if Eric also has 4 tires or not, but you can definitely tell that Ronnie's got 4 fresh ones.
And as we start to close down the laps here and the sky turns dark
burgundy almost.
It is turning some interesting dark orange reddish colors. This is shaping up to be really interesting. Yes, we have Sable out in front, Briscoe in 2nd, but look, Norman up there into 3rd, Slauson still holding on to 4th, and look who has managed to climb up into 5th. It's Cody Hyde on YouTube, as he's known, right now in that 5th spot. And did you happen to see that Hooters truck behind?
I am shocked right now that Hooters truck is running 6th. Josh, I think the last time we were live covering NORA, got a top 3, and he said he lucked into it. So I don't know if this one's luck. I think this is just pure determination to get back up through the field.
Well, as you know, down there at Flatline Motorsports, I believe they specialize in bare bond truck repair, and they have made that truck good as new once again, able to hang out in 5th place at the moment. Slauson just in front in 4th, so we'll see whether or not he can give Slauson a run for 4th. But right now it's Sable, Briscoe, Norman, Slauson, and Conover. That is your top 5. And then you see just behind Cody Height having gotten past there. Now Tyler Dixon trying to make his move on Cody Height as well. And then Cody Reeder now creeping into this picture. But just in front, there's Conover. He has given it a shot. He's taking it down to the inside. I'll tell you what, last time he did that maneuver, he ended up facing backwards. But Conover, fearless, continues to march forward. Is he going to be able to chase down Ronnie Norman? That's just under a second ahead. We'll keep an eye on that gap as well. But it looks like just behind, that's where the battle's at. As Slauson still holds on to Conover's rear bumper. And here's Tyler Dixon with Cody Reeder just behind as well.
Yeah, ironically, the guy who took the win after Todd Slauson's unfortunate mishap a couple weeks back, right behind Todd Slauson now.
And also, let's give a shout out to this guy. He's been fighting all race to get up into that top 10. He's one of the independents in the field, Corey Raboyne, able to
He's
do
a trooper.
So. Yeah, real trooper. You gotta stay in it to win it. And Raboyne doing everything that he can. He's gained 11 spots, and he's just like been. This is the Matthew George approach. You know, he's been outside the top 10. He's kind of running Dorsey up the track a little bit there, but they don't make any sort of contact. And that number 7 stays in that 9th spot. He's trying to possibly take the 8th spot just behind Cody Height as he's sort of drifted back from this restart.
Yeah, I think Cody Height's still on old tires. He stayed out that last caution, so he's kind of fallen through the field. He doesn't have too old of tires, but older than most of these guys. As you can see, Cody Reeder on the outside, Tyler Dixon here trying to catch up to Todd Slauson and try to get top 5 here for Cody Reeder, and almost contact there between Tyler Dixon and Reeder there.
Very close.
Oh, again, real close.
It's
a good battle.
He
turned him.
Well,
I think he thought he was clear and was going to be able to get behind Tyler and just misjudged it. But this is a huge break for that guy in 5th place. All night he's been running outside the top 15. Takes strategy, and now he's in 5th, and now he's going to have fresh tires just like everyone else here. But unfortunately, former winner Tyler Dixon gets turned there by Cody Reeder. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at it, and I think what we're going to see is, you know, just Cody thought he was clear and wasn't quite there. He's going to try to cross over and just kind of hooks him. I'm going to say he thought he was clear, but I don't know. He could have been angry about the contact on the backstretch, but I really think it was that he thought he was clear, because Cody isn't the type of guy to intentionally wreck anyone.
I mean, that would be a very obvious intentional wreck. I'm not really sure what was going through his mind, but that's not really something that Cody would do. And then there's, you know, Tyler doesn't look like he suffered that much damage, so it looks like he's able to continue here. So as these drivers are going to bring it down onto pit lane, as you mentioned, everybody going to be taking tires here. I'll be surprised if anybody decides to stay out. This is just too advantageous of a time. With 28 laps to go, this is like the perfect time to come down and get tires. They should still be good, even if you race hard and green flag all the way to the end.
Right.
Probably nobody needs to take any fuel, so we'll see. I wonder if anybody's going to gamble with just right side tires.
I think it's a little too early to try to take 2 tires. I think everyone's going to take 4 tires, get on the same cycle, and then go for this thing toward the end. We can see, I'm mistaken, Cody Height, 2 tires. Going to win the battle off pit road and new leader.
Cody Height. I'm trying to see if anyone else took that gamble. I don't.
No one.
Dylan Walterman looks like he might have taken it because he only spent 11 seconds in the box. Everybody else choosing to take 4. But how about Cody Height, the gambler? Cody Height on YouTube.
Who do you think we should talk to here?
Do we dare curse Cody Height?
Oh, I mean, that's up to you. Who do you want to talk to?
Let's talk to Josh.
Yeah, he's been having an up and down night. Let's go ahead and talk to him.
Yeah, he's already cursed anyway in this race.
Josh Conover, Christian and Trevor up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah.
Hey, man. I can tell in your voice not having a great night, but hey, you've wrecked twice, and you're sitting in 5th. You still got anything to try to get up there and get the win?
I doubt it. And now that I'm talking to you, I definitely don't. So I'm going to get the 3rd strike here and be donezo. But nah, I don't know. The new damage models definitely helped me because I'm still good on engine power. But I don't know. I think I used up all my good luck with those 2 wrecks.
Yeah, we're trying to turn your luck around and for once, give you a broadcast like boost, get you in here and give you some good luck. But it's been pretty bad luck today. But how's the track been now that it's cooled off? Is it more grip? We saw earlier it was pretty loose.
It's still free. I mean, obviously, as you saw with I think it was like trio of wrecks we had at one point before stage 2 end. Especially cold tires, like even like right here, even though the track's the coolest it's been all night, if you go in too hard pushing, obviously it'll snap on you. But once you get going, unless you hit the line 100% perfect, you're on the tighter side. But like I said, it still has the chance to get free, especially with the wind. The way it's coming across the track, it's loosening you up into 1 or through 1 and 2, I should say, and then tightens you up through 3 and 4. So I don't know. My previous pick was Eric, so I was shocked when I stole the stage from him, and then I don't even know what you want to call the pit road incident, but holding true so far. He's been holding a pretty wheel all night. So.
All right. Well, good luck with the rest of this thing. I see it's 1 to green here, so we're gonna send you back down to whatever room you want to go down to. But good luck the rest of the race, bud.
BP, and if I get wrecked again, I'm coming to fight you because it's broadcast cursed.
Well, I'll see you in Pennsylvania if that's the case, bud.
That's right.
Talk to you soon.
I hope so.
So that's
right,
Josh
that's
Conover. That was, he's aware of the fact that we're potentially cursing him, but I think at the same time, if he wins this race, he'd probably be more than happy to buy you some chicken wings at Hooters at the end of this one.
Yeah, really. He should invite me to Hooters over there in New Jersey. I'll go over and see him, and we'll have a good time.
I'm sure that'll happen. Sean Briscoe going to be starting up here next to Cody Height. Height going to be starting on the lead, and the green flag is back in the hands and in the air of Barney the Flag Man. We're rolling again here in Nashville.
What do you think? Do you think Cody Height's tires can hold up here? He's going to try it here
for a little while, I think. He's holding on so far. That's all that matters. You get through the first lap, get a lap led. That's pretty important stuff. Here comes Eric Sable. He's going to try to fight Sean Briscoe right now.
Yeah, what Cody's going to want to see is he wants to see Sean put up a big fight here on Eric Sable, but it looks like Sable already cleared him. Yeah, he does. He's going to clear him, and now that's bad news for Cody Height because Eric Sable has kind of been the truck to beat all night, and he's got 4 fresher tires here.
I mean, honestly, Briscoe's been a top 3 kind of... Oh, we have Corey Raboyne having a big moment right now.
Caution's out here.
And I think he's already ditched that machine. Let's see if we can take a look a little bit further back. This was Raboyne. We were just talking about how well he was doing, and there he gets loose, just as Josh was talking about. These conditions are just weird out here, and that wind is not helping at all on these restarts. And so Raboyne gets around, and then I see that Cody Reeder went off track for just a moment. So let's see if we can tell exactly what happened for Cody Reeder. If I can...
we saw him race the next gens here last week, and he wasn't having a good time, and now you can see in the trucks also having a big struggle so far tonight.
He just got loose again. It was
The furthest we seen him up in the field, I think, was about 7th place. So he is really struggling tonight, and that's odd to see out of the 85 Chevrolet.
Well, they're going to get that one figured out. But just
Look at
20.
the fans here. They're packing the stands, man.
I mean, sold out crowd once again here for the NORA Truck Series. We thank all of you YouTube viewers certainly for packing our stands for our live broadcasts, and certainly all of the subscribers that have joined us here, VirtualRacing.Network. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you punch that subscribe button and like this video. If you like our broadcast, we'll try to do more good work for you out here. Christian's always out here doing a great play call, and I'm just sort of barely making it through some of these races, but he's keeping me going here. Cody Height, though, managed to survive that restart and hold on to the lead. I was just gonna say Briscoe really, his only trick that he's had tonight was sticking on the outside, and he tried to hold on the outside, but Sable is just too darn good. It's like once Briscoe, the outside line didn't work and keep that position, it was just kind of like, okay, well, Sable, you just go do what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, Sable, he seems like he's got a handle tonight and just knows what to do and when to pass. We've seen Sean Briscoe be able to hold off people, but Eric Sable's just on a different level tonight than everybody else with passing. So we'll see if he's able to get by Cody Height. I'm predicting that he will, just based on the fact that he's got those fresher tires than Cody. So, but we'll see. We got Ronnie Norman in 4th place now. He's coming up through the field. I think he restarted back in 8th, and he's already up to 4th here. So we'll see what Ronnie can do. Then we talked to Josh already, and Dylan Walterman, 6th place, having his best run so far this season. So we'll see if he's able to do anything. We got Cody Dorsey coming back after taking no tires a few stops ago. Mark Morton, Slauson, McGuire, all up there in the top 10. So we'll see what happens here. Anybody can win this still.
Anyone can win, and speaking of winning, I just put out the poll over in our YouTube chat. You can go ahead and vote. Who's going to win tonight? Is it going to be Ronnie Norman? Is it going to be Eric Sable? Is it going to be Cody Height? Or will it be Sean Briscoe? That is your 4 choices at the moment. Of course, it could always be Conover, but we're trying not to curse him tonight, so we're just going to leave him off of this poll. But put in your vote. Let us know who you think. We'll close it at the end. We'll let you know the results. In the meantime, I believe it is officially time now to jump to 20 laps to go. And our 20 laps to go segment sponsored by Snyder Graphics. Facebook.com/Snyder Graphics. This guy named Christian Snyder, he does a heck of a good job with these paint schemes out here on the track. You've been seeing a few of them tonight. That one that's sitting in 3rd place, sparkling under these lights and shimmering, and he's got the matte working, he's got the shiny working, he's got the chrome working. If you want your truck or your cup car to look that good, you want to talk to Christian Snyder over at Snyder Graphics. Our 20 laps to go segment brought to you by Christian Snyder and Snyder Graphics.
Yeah, and from what Steven said, it adds a little bit of speed with that, that matte and metallic look. So
cuts down on the drag.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
You've got the special vinyl wrap too. I know it's not.
Shh, don't say all my secrets.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you want all the goodies that you can get, including great design, if you just have an idea in mind of something that you want, Christian can make it happen. Facebook.com/Snyder Graphics. And with that, we're getting ready to go. We've got Cody Height still going to be restarting in the lead in that Ford Motorcraft Hollinger racing machine, and we're green here again at Nashville.
A little bit of a better restart here for Eric Sable. He's going to stay kind of close to Cody, see what he can do. He's going to try to work the outside here, maybe cross him over, coming out of turn 2, but we see through the field 3, 4 riders here. Looked like maybe the 4th. I'm not sure who that was. It was pretty wide, yeah.
Sable's going to own that car, though. That front position, though, coming in through turns 3 and 4, and now heading down that front straightaway. It is Eric Sable who takes over the top spot. Here comes Sean Briscoe on the outside of Cody Height. Short-lived run at the front on those 2 new tires for Cody Height, but he was gambling, and he won for a moment, but now he's getting a little sideways, and this is a bit more than he thought he would chew off.
Oh, we got to caution someone else.
Guileless as well. I'm not sure if this, I don't know if he brought out his own caution or if it was Guileless.
I'm going to say it was probably Guileless because I think Cody was way off the track, and it looked like Guileless was a lot higher on the track. You see here, there he goes around sideways in front of cars, and yeah, that's going to bring out a caution there.
So, Guileless and Height getting sideways and off track, and I guess with that, we're going to be under caution yet again here, this being our 10th caution, also including those couple of stage cautions that we've had, so 8 actual cautions here tonight. And difficult conditions catching out these drivers for certain. It's been all they can handle here at Nashville as the lights are officially on, and we're just finally getting into the actual evening of racing here. Just 17 laps remaining, and so taking a look now down finally into the 80s on the track. Everybody kind of coming in to take tires.
Well, I think everybody, I think it was maybe 8th or 9th on back coming in. A couple trucks behind that stay out, but the first truck to pull in was Cody Height, so he's got to get those 4 fresh tires because he flat spotted them by spinning. But Eric Sable going to stay out, and he's going to continue to be the leader, but behind him, a lot of guys that are hungry for a win, so we're going to see how this restart goes. I mean, we've seen it already. Cautions breed cautions, so this might not be our last one.
They do, and as you mentioned, Cody Reeder into the pits, Timmy Harper into the pits, and Cody Height in getting on those new tires. So, it's not that much of an advantage, but we'll see. They've now got 4 fresh tires. Going to take a chance and see whether or not they can scratch a whole bunch of positions here at the end. Your top 5 going into this caution and just going to be coming out here on 14 laps to go. Eric Sable for the JRC Sim team. Second place is Sean Briscoe for Capital Motor Club. Third, Ronnie Norman. Fourth, Josh Conover. And fifth, Todd Slauson, managing to recover in that full send motorsports machine. And you were just talking about Dylan Walterman for Harper up there into 6th. Cody Dorsey for Harper up into 7th. And Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports in 8th. David McGuire in 9th for his own race team in an independent. Christopher Heights also for Harper. So Harper having 3 machines now in the top 10.
Yeah, and what you love to see, there's 6 different teams represented in this top 10, so there's a lot of parity within the league. You don't see one team just absolutely pulling away and dominating. So if you do want to join, there's a lot of good teams out there. There's not just one. So join up and find a team and enjoy this racing, because NORA always puts on the best shows.
Absolutely, that's a good point, especially if you're already a skilled NASCAR truck or Cup Series driver. You got a couple thousand or more iRating. There's always substitution spots that are available out here that you might be able to get in and go out there and race for owners points, and that's a great way to try out here in NORA. And don't necessarily need to put down the full entry fee to join as a championship driver. But if you'd like to do that, spots still available. You can come out here and be a part of that as well. And certainly the Truck Series and the Cup Series still open to more drivers. Now, tomorrow night, I should go ahead and tell you, we will not be broadcasting the NORA Cup Series race from Chicago tomorrow night. We've elected to go dark on that race for a few different reasons, but it will be a points race, so we'll look forward to talking about that at our next Cup event, which will be coming up in July. But also, you won't want to miss the NORA 500. That'll be coming up as well.
Yeah, the main reason I didn't want to be in Chicago is I was scared for my life. So, very glad that we are not going to be there tomorrow.
Indeed, the virtual thugs really coming out in force in virtual Chicago. You've always got to look out. Here in Nashville, not so bad. But either way,
Yeah,
country music can be a little rough. You got to watch out the bars that you go into here in Nashville.
they
as
are.
well.
Yeah. It's a pretty rough scene.
Of course, you know where Josh is headed after the race.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so here we go. Ready to fire again here in Nashville. Eric Sable for the JRC Sim team. Sean Briscoe going to be starting alongside. This has been a battle that's been brewing, and just behind Ronnie Norman and Josh Conover, Sable gets a good start. Norman down to the inside of Briscoe on this restart. We're going to see how this all shakes out here with just 13 laps remaining. We are back under green, possibly for the final time, perhaps not. Walterman
Briscoe's
drifting up the track, though, and almost taking out Slauson. We look back here. Looks like it's managed to clear out a little bit. But back up in front, Sable clearing by about 5 truck lengths. Now coming up on 10 truck lengths back to Briscoe. Norman back here as well, holding on into that third spot. Conover holding on to fourth, so it's already kind of gone single file up at the front. But it looks like Briscoe had a little bit of a moment, and so did Ronnie Norman. He got loose. There comes Josh Conover. He's going to try to get by Ronnie Norman. So just that quickly, that looseness really causing an issue, and looks like Conover going to give his shot not only on Norman, but he's still got some speed in that truck after all. He may give a shot to Briscoe.
Yeah, these guys got to settle this out pretty soon, because the longer they stay side by side, here comes Mark Morton in the 8 truck catching up to them, and Sean Briscoe starting to pull away from them with them being side by side. You can see the run that Mark is getting here on the backstretch. He's almost to his bumper as they get into turn 3 here. So these guys definitely got to get single file here before they get run over. Look at this run that he's going to develop the whole way down the front stretch. He's getting closer and closer. That's because those 2 trucks are taking air from each other and not being able to get the full advantage of speed.
And compromising each other's corners, and of course there is something to be said for the draft even on a 1.1 1/3 track like this. Now, if you're Mark Morton, you're in this debut, you are racing hard for Full Send Motorsports. Do you take a chance here? I was going to say while they were side by side to go 3 wide. Well, I don't think that's going to happen now, but Norman's still looking for a way to get back by. I think he tried to think of doing the crossover on Josh in front. Now Morton's got to try to figure out, how do I get by these 2 who have been so tough? And of course, I mean, let's also not forget that's the admin of NORA up in front in the 3rd spot, and Josh Conover. And
Oh, he had a moment there. A little bit of a wiggle for Josh.
well,
Looks like he may have touched the apron and got a little bit loose, and now Ronnie Norman kind of pushing him down the front stretch instead of trying to pass him.
this battle raging on. And in the meantime, just behind, it's Christopher Heights and Todd Slauson racing it out. But is Morton going to force the issue on Norman? No, he decides to not. He's still kind of lining up like he wants to make that move. And here back here, this is Height and Slauson racing side by side as well for position. That's for 7th place on the track. There goes Height, managing to get that position back. Up here in the front, still racing very tight. Eric Sable with 7 laps remaining is in command. Josh Conover here in 3rd place, trying to chase down Sean Briscoe. But Ronnie Norman not giving up that 4th spot to Mark Morton.
Right now, these 4 trucks basically under a blanket. Josh Conover looking for a way around Sean Briscoe. What he's got to do, we talked about it earlier, you can't run in line here. You got to get that clean air. What he's got to worry about is once he gets side by side with Briscoe, it's going to allow Norman to catch up to him quick. So he's got to make the pass as rapidly as he can.
Well, running out of laps to do much of anything right now. 5 laps to go, and it's looking like it's Eric Sable who is going to steal this show unless anyone else can mount a challenge. Sean Briscoe hanging on in second place, Conover in third, and Norman in fourth, Morton in fifth. Right now, it's looking like it's going to stay that way unless somebody can somehow manage to break this mold, this pattern that they've all kind of fallen into. I think they're falling into like a slumber here. But Conover,
here comes Josh.
He's giving it his shot. Here comes Conover on Briscoe, just in time.
We'll have to see. He's going to clear Briscoe, so now he's got 4 laps to catch Sable here.
Can Conover...
Morton on the outside of Norman for 4th.
Can Conover chase down Sable? Will Morton end up with a top 4 or possibly a podium position here in his debut? That is anyone's question. And looking over in the chat room, those of you who voted, 75% of you saying Ronnie Norman's going to win this race here tonight. 25% say Eric Sable going to win this race. Well, right now it's Sable up in front, and he's actually walking away right now from Josh Conover. That lead stretching out to almost a full second. We'll see if that can sustain, but just 2 laps remain here before Eric Sable can call this one done. Mark Morton knew I was going to do it tonight. Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports in 4th place. He's having a great run. It doesn't matter where he finishes in this top 5. It's a successful run for Mark. And coming to the white flag this time by, it's going to be Eric Sable. The white flag in Barney the Flagman's hands. Just one more time around for Eric Sable through corners 1 and 2. It's keeping it down along that yellow apex line. No problems, no looseness, no difficulties for Eric Sable. He's had all of the answers here tonight. Josh Conover, he's put in an awesome race, and so has Sean Briscoe. Conover, an amazing recovery tonight. Briscoe, I thought maybe would have something for Sable, but Sable, the master here at Nashville Super Speedway.
Tell you what, he absolutely put on a clinic. Most of the race leading. I think Eric, came into Nashville and, saw that Brian Jones wasn't going to be here. Takes advantage of that because Brian Jones, obviously one of the front runners for the championship, would have been a threat here tonight. But Eric Sable took advantage and gets a win here at Nashville.
An absolutely phenomenal run from Sable. He absolutely won that one on pace here tonight. No luck involved other than the fact that Conover maybe got wiped out in a couple of different incidents early on and couldn't mount a fair challenge here tonight. Of course, Conover taking that stage victory, but then afterwards meeting some demise. So with that, we are going to catch our breath, get the final results in hand, and we're going to get a chance to chat with our top finishers here in the NORA Series, NORA Truck Series Victory Lane discussion. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Here on VirtualRacing.Network. Some amazing stuff from Eric Sable to pull home this victory here tonight. He had to overcome a hard-charging Sean Briscoe and in the early stages. Josh Conover coming through the field, slicing and dicing, able to take over and looked like he was basically unbeatable. But there just was no match tonight for Eric Sable, who does manage to steal that victory out from the hands of Josh, who has to settle for second place. And Eric's still driving around and celebrating, doing some backward celebrating on the track. So let's go down through your final running order. It is Eric Sable who takes victory for the JRC Sim team. Second will go to Josh Conover for Flatline Motorsports. Third to Sean Briscoe for Capital Motor Club. Fourth to Mark Morton for Full Send Motorsports in his debut. Congratulations to him on an excellent finish. Ronnie Norman in for the JRC Sim team. That's your top 5. Christopher Heights in 6th. 7th to Cody Reeder. Cody Height on YouTube is in 8th place. Todd Slauson in 9th. Dylan Walterman in 10th. Cody Dorsey in 11th. Craig Schroeder in 12th. Jacob Gladelich in 13th. 14th to David McGuire. 15th to Tyler Dixon. 16th goes to Jacob Malone. 17th, Everett Couts, your pole sitter for tonight. Timothy Harper takes 18th spot. And finishing this one up, 19th for Todd Schneider. 20th for Torrance Schertz, 21st to Corey Raboyne, 22nd to Nick Geilis, 23rd for Mark Bremkamp, 24th is Corey Danielson, 25th for Andrew Stab, and Zach Hollinger in 26th here tonight, only able to complete a single lap of tonight's race. So with that, we're going to get a chance to talk with some of our top finishers, and I believe we'll get a chance to catch up with Sean Briscoe here in our third spot. So driver of the number 39 machine, Sean Briscoe. Sean, you had a great run here tonight. I would say that third would be normally fine for most nights, but you really had a top 2 truck. Talk us through your night. How did it feel to you? You tasted the lead briefly. You satisfied with third place here tonight?
Yeah, how my last couple months have been, or month or so. I'll take a top 5. It's been a while since I talked to you, so yeah, it's kind of good to be back at least in the top 3. And I think what's killing me is the last stage. If we would have went green, I felt like I maybe had a shot. I was just trying to take care of my tires, but with cautions and stuff, it kind of went more towards his driving style. So, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's just weird, Sean. I mean, we talk about it each week, but it's like shocking you don't have a whole stack of wins here. And I mean, you're always running out front. It's just sometimes you manage to get wrapped up in these bad luck situations. You get shuffled to the back. It's hard to come back forward. How was tonight different? Did you do something different, do you feel, to hold on to third? Was there more discretion, maybe not challenging as much? What was your secret to holding on to a third place here tonight?
To hold on to the third, I had to kind of get a little aggressive there. Once Conover got underneath me, I knew I couldn't hold him back for very long. So it's better just to kind of back off, get back in line, and hold on to third if I can. And they started racing behind me, so I was able to kind of hold them off. But yeah, I just didn't have anything for Conover or the leader. I can't think of his name now, Eric. So yeah, definitely I'm on survival mode pretty much. I'm just trying, if I can just get top 5s, I feel like that's a win to me. So
well, last week 4th and this week 3rd. I mean, only place to go is 2nd and maybe 1st coming up. But do you learn anything when you run in 2nd and 3rd, and you get like Eric Sable out there, who's he's so fast and skilled, etc. But do you learn something from him if you're following him behind in a corner, like how he's holding on to the truck and adjustments he's trying to make?
A little bit, just kind of like how the car, this kind of truck is trying to, like his line. He's like I'm driving in harder and kind of parking it, and then driving off, more narrow line, and seemed like Conover and Eric were taking more of a late apex kind of a line. And just seeing how their slip angle is as they're coming off the corner, I can kind of tell they're maybe getting on the brakes a little bit. Somehow they're able to get that front end to hook and that, the back end to kind of set, so they're able to drive off the corner. So that's kind of like, you can kind of see some stuff, but not sure how much brake they're using, exactly where they're lifting. There's a lot of stuff you can't see, but there's also a lot of stuff you can see. So I felt like I can, follow his line and just kind of take it easy, because tire management was a big deal for me. But with all these cautions at the end there, kind of went against my little strategy I had. So still happy with the third, still top 5. So we're doing good.
You survived, as you said. And sometimes survival, is a big, long championship, and consistency is definitely where it's at. Well, anyway, it's amazing to see a donut in the win column for you up there, considering the pace that you've had all season. But I'm sure we'll see many more possible wins here for you coming up in the near future. And good luck getting your feet back, ready to go here and challenge for those top 2 positions in the future races. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before we roll on?
My teammates, Craig and Corey. Gives me something to kind of look forward to every Monday, and kind of cool to have friends like that. You for putting on, this is probably the best broadcast we've ever, or at least as far as I've been around, you've been the best one. So that's cool, and Conover for putting all this on too. And if my dad's hearing this, hi Dad.
Well, we appreciate the kind words. Christian and myself always enjoying doing the coverage. And again, Sean, you're super exciting, and you keep everybody honest out there. If anybody has any sort of trouble at all, I'm sure it's Sean Briscoe in the win column. But we'll see you again next week, and or actually, I think in 2 weeks' time here in the Truck Series. And anyway, have a great rest of your week, and congratulations on taking third.
You have a good one. Thank you.
Yourself as well. So that is Sean Briscoe for Capital Motor Club taking third spot. And I think Christian's had a chance to catch up with his good friend, Josh Conover, who somehow managed to drive the truck backwards and yet somehow got up into the second position. I don't even know how that's possible for Josh to do that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I did catch up with Josh Conover here. He was discussing with some people about earlier in the race, but I was able to bump in here. Josh, you finished second. We didn't curse you. Does that mean we're heading over to Hooters down the road from here in Nashville?
I'm going home, man. That was probably the worst night, and I've had a lot of bad nights, but that was probably number one. Of just, how could I get, I don't even know the PG way to describe it, so I'll just let you interpret whatever you want. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, iRacing was not a fan of you. We saw the pit road incident. You should have been invisible but weren't, and got bumped. Then obviously the net code took you out, so it was like iRacing just did not like you at all tonight. But you did a fantastic job, rallied up to finish second. Obviously, you want to win and gain as many playoff points as you can to try to catch up to Brian Jones, but this is big for the regular season. You're going to gain a lot of points on Brian Jones, and we only got a few races before that regular season's up. So what do you got to do the rest of the season here to get that regular season championship?
I think unofficially, because he was so far ahead, I think I'm still down like 15 or so, which is obviously better than the 57 that it was, but it's just rough. Because even Eric, like he was saying when it first happened, he felt bad and whatnot, which obviously is understandable, but we went back and looked at it again, and 99.9999 a trillion times % of the time, like you even said, you're ghosted. And then we looked at the moment of impact, and half my truck was in the stalls. And normally it's not even half a truck. Like you can just have a piece of your nose over it, or even like close to the stalls, and it goes shoe. But yeah, for some reason it just didn't want me to run up front, I guess. And then the net code, that just kind of, I was being aggressive, so I guess, you know, on one hand I kind of deserved it, you know, forcing the 3 wide that early. But you know, obviously I'm sure you can attest to it, just driving angry, I guess we'll say it. At that point, you know, you just want to go and get back up front. And I was surprised, you know, that was battling for 5th, I think. So just P2 is great. I mean, obviously it's not the win and the 5 points that I would have wanted, but especially because this was the final triple truck challenge race, that's 5 more bonus points for Eric. So, you know, I could have used that. Maybe I would have been in single digits to Brian, but I don't know. It's tough to be disappointed a second, but at the same time, you know, winning the stage and then happens probably the most bizarre thing that could happen. Just kind of, I don't even know if unsettling would be the right word, but it's just kind of gets to you if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in your shoes before. Finishing second, you know, kind of hurts more than finishing anywhere else in the field. So, but I mean, it's points for you, and it's going to help you in the regular season championship. We're going to try to wrap this up short because it's 11:12 on the East Coast for us. But anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go here?
You guys for the broadcast. I guess I'll have to come back and watch it and see all the drama unfold. Everybody that ran, I think it was a good sized field. I think we had 26 or 27. We were even missing, obviously, Brian Jones. I know Keegan wasn't there, teammate. So we're probably going to have close to 30 or closer to 30. And really, everybody that ran, I mean, it was a good race up until, I think, the first yellow in stage 2. And then, like I said, when you guys interviewed the first time, it kind of just sort of went downhill from there. And then everybody seemed to kind of not really calm down because there were still aggressive moves, even for myself, but I guess cleaned up aggressive moves, if you can make that argument. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think we go to Mid-Ohio in 2 weeks, so Brian was about half a second quicker than me there last year, so we got to try and find half a second and even be in the same ballpark as him, or else he'll just gain more points on me. So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, well, good luck next time out, and congrats on second again.
Yep, thank you.
And Trevor, I believe you caught up with the winner tonight, the number 9 Moneyline Ford, Eric Sable.
I did, in fact, catch up. He's fresh off of the track and wiping the celebratory spray off of his brow. And Eric Sable, what an amazing run to victory here tonight in Nashville. Just an absolutely dominant performance here at round number 13. Talk us through your night. You weren't up there to take the first couple of stage wins, but you came on strong here, and you looked dominant at the end, like nobody could have a single answer for you. Congratulations.
First of all, thank you. And yeah, that stage 1 was quite interesting. I saved my tires with Josh, and Sean burnt his stuff up pretty early, like 13 laps of the run, but yeah, then we came down with that caution. I still feel terrible for Josh getting into him on pit road. That's a freak of nature type deal with this iRacing coding. But all around, I got the stage 2 win, I think. And yeah, it was all about tire saving. I was using the brake all night long. I wasn't really rolling the car, saving that right front tire as much as I can. So, and it paid off again. I was getting the rotation through the center and off all the way around the track. So, I can't really let myself down. I did a pretty good job all night long.
Well, it's not just been all night long. This has been multiple races. You seem to connect with these trucks very well out there. What did you think early on, though, when you saw Conover able to do, I mean, honestly, as good as you were looking at the end of the race, Conover was looking that good at the start of the race. Did you think that you would have a battle with Conover, with the exception of what happened there on pit lane? And was there any way to predict that was what was going to happen there on pit lane?
Honestly, there was no way to predict what happened on pit lane. And like I said, it was like a coding issue. But as for Josh, he's a really good race car driver. And, that stage 1, I was behind him. I couldn't get anywhere near him. I told him that we were running identical lap times. We were switching on and off between battery lap times. So, yeah, I guarantee if You know, if he didn't get, you know, that promotion throughout the race, I guarantee he was going to be in front of me. It would be an all-out battle between the two of us to win this thing.
Well, an excellent win here tonight. Once again, in that final stage, nobody had anything for you. Even a couple of drivers trying something crazy by taking 2 tires, but of course, no match for the great strategy calls that you made on pit lane here tonight. Anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I want to thank everybody on the JRC Sim Race team, Snyder Graphics. It's the first race for this Money Lion Ford F-150, so that's pretty cool to get the win. And I want to give a shout out to Sean Briscoe because, you know, he's a hell of a race car driver, sim racer, and, you know, if he stays in it, he's a top 5 contender week in and week out. I think he's going to get that W here pretty soon.
Well, that's pretty classy of you to give a shout out to your competition there, and I completely agree with you. We're kind of shocked that he still does not have a win here this season with how hard he's been running. But either way, we look forward to many more close battles between yourself, Josh, Ronnie, Sean, and how about this new guy, Mark Morton, showing up? You just never know where those challenges are going to come from.
Oh, absolutely not. You know, there's always people coming in. We have a few new drivers that came in just tonight alone, and you know, it's a great lead to be in. You know, as you guys can tell, you guys broadcast this week in, week out from 2, you know, series, and it's an all-around fun time. So I hope everybody that watched enjoyed the race. It was definitely fun behind the wheel, and you know, we'll go on in 2 weeks to Mid-Ohio.
Absolutely stunning stuff here tonight. We'll see you at Mid-Ohio in 2 weeks, and enjoy the time in the limelight and all of the newspaper interviews.
Absolutely. You guys have a good night.
So that is Eric Sable racing for JRC Sim Team. He's taken victory here and added to his overall tally of wins here in the NORA Racing Series, the Truck Series in 2023. Congratulations, and what an amazing run from Eric here tonight. Christian, final thoughts before we close this one out.
Yeah, a fantastic race as always with these NORA guys. They put on a heck of a show every week, whether it's the trucks or the cup cars. So, you know, a lot of people got the finishes that they needed tonight. You know, we talked to Josh Conover running for that regular season championships. He got as many points as he can, you know, without winning. So he's going to close that gap on Brian Jones, and Brian's going to have a little bit of sweat coming off of him here these next few races, trying to hold on to that regular season championship. But some guys that needed points, you know, Cody Reeder, Todd Slauson, both got points that they needed tonight. Cody came back from a wreck and got top 10. Same with Todd, 2 wrecks and came back and got top 10. Dylan Walterman with his first top 10, getting as many points as he can. So a lot of guys capitalizing in places that they needed to.
Well, this was one heck of a race here tonight, and certainly always appreciate your fantastic commentary and insight, Christian. Our next race here on VirtualRacing.Network will be this coming Sunday. No, will be this coming Monday, excuse me, for the NORA 500 on the 3rd. You won't want to miss it. We're just about to get that scheduled. And speaking of that, might as well punch that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the like button, and we will make sure that we get you those scheduled races all delivered. Of course, next month as well, we start on Sunday nights covering the Icon Racing Series as well. You can get involved with that series in addition to the NORA Cup and Truck Series. Great leagues to be involved with, and of course you get broadcasted by myself and Christian Snyder. So on behalf of Christian and all the admin and the competitors here in the NORA Truck Series, we wish all of you a wonderful rest of your night and a great week, and we will see you next Monday night for the NORA 500 right here on VirtualRacing.Network. Thanks for joining us over on YouTube Live. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.